We're still just going over the letters. And we have reached the point of connecting the letters. And by the end of our last session, we agreed, yani, I said that we're going to start after kha. So we really did do though alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha. That's not a good one. Kha. Now we did dal, and we did thal, and we did ra, and we did zai, and we did others too, because I jumped around a little bit for you. So let's say we went up to zai, because we did go to zai, and we even started seeing. Let's start there. So we want to look at how to connect the letter seen. First of all, how does it look in its neutral form? You remember seen has three teeth. Okay. The first two teeth are closer together than the second and third tooth. And in the neutral form, the second tooth goes in one direction and the third tooth goes in another direction. Then you have this hoop here, which is basically a noon without a dot. Now, when this letter connects, it connects from both sides. So in the beginning, first thing is that third tooth is going to switch directions. Now it's going that way. The first two are still closer than the second and the third, but the third tooth changes directions. And if it were a sheen, then it has three dots. So, for example, you would say, uh, yeah, for example, sama, sky, or heaven, sama. And you'd say, shams, sun. What happened here? Here's your seen connecting to the letter after it. Here's your sheen connecting to the letter after it. And how about in the middle? In the middle, it's easy because it looks like that already. It's just connecting from the letter before it and connecting to what's after it. Connecting from the letter before it, connecting to what's after it. Like mishmish. What is that? A peach. I think mishmish is a peach. So you see this sheen here connecting from the letter before it, connecting to the letter after it. Okay. And what about the end? We have it already. Here's sheen at the end of the word here, mishmish. There you see it connecting to the letter after it. Takes its own form, but it's connecting to the letter before it. Sorry. Also up here, shams. Seen connecting from the letter before it and then taking its own form. And that's it. Next letter is sod. So here's sod in a neutral form. And like it is bod. Okay. And I told you before that this tooth here is part of the sod in the dot. Don't leave that out, or you'll be making a mistake in your handwriting, in your script. So in the beginning of the word, it's just going to connect to the letter after it, whether it's a sod or a bod. In the middle of the word, there's a line coming from the previous word. Now I picked my pen up, and look where I'm starting, all the way over here. Then I'm connecting to the letter after it. So you see that? Picked my pen up. Previous letter. Pick my pen up. Okay. So sod, you see, it's connecting from the letter before it. I lift my pen and I come all the way over here and then connect to the letter after it. Same thing for bod, just bod has a dot. So in Al-Fatiha we say wala wala dallin. Here's the bod connecting from the letter before it, then connecting to the letter after it. Or for example, Allah says, wal asr. So you see the sod here connecting from the letter before it, and then connecting to the letter after it. Yani if you want to see it just connecting, yani just being the first letter, then for example, salat or dalal. So here it is, being the first letter and then connecting to what's after it, being the first letter and then connecting to what's after it. And then at the end of the word, sod and bod take their own forms, connecting from the letter before it and then taking their own forms. So at the end of the word, for example, for example, here's a word, mouse. Mouse. Mouse means to suck, like a straw, for example. Mouse, or the bone marrow from the bone. So there's your sod connecting from the letter before. I lifted my pen right there, then came back over here and made the sod, finished the sod. I'm trying to think of a word that ends in a bod, a connected bod. Uh, ah, here's a word. No, the bod's not connected. Okay, here's one. Tamadmad. Tamadmad. Tamadmada. Tamad. Tamad. Mr. Meme. Tamadmada. Tamadmada. Here's bod in the end, connecting from the letter before it. And there's a bod in the middle, connecting to the letter before it and then connecting to the letter after it. Tamadmada, that's what you, when you rinse your mouth in wudu or ghusl. Tamadmada. Th- That's the verb. Tamadmada huwa. He rinsed his mouth. Okay. I don't know if I'm going fast here or something. Any question? Any complaint? Any suggestion? How can I help you? Okay. It seems like the coast is clear then. So that's Spod, Bod. What did we just do today? Fiend, Sheen, Spod, and Bod, and Bod. Want to take a look in the Mus'haf? Let's see. Ah, there's the Mus'haf right there. Alhamdulillah. So, what do we have here? We're looking for Fiend, Sheen, Sod, and Bod. Here's a scene. Connected. Here. Fiend. Notice the first two teeth are closer together than the second and the third tooth. And notice that the third tooth is going in this direction. That's how it looks when it's connected. Here's seen in the middle. Connecting from the letter before it, connecting to the letter after it. Here's thought in the middle, connecting to the letter before it. Now I picked up my pen, then connects to the letter after it. Here's seen in the middle, connecting to the letter before it, connecting to the letter after it. Now, I'll point out something to you here. Look at this scene connecting to the letter before it, connecting to the letter after it, which is a ra. Notice here, this word khusr, this scene here, and this word asr here, this sod. What happened? Let me show you. So you know the letter ra, it is over the line, right? And you know the letter sod has a tooth. Here's the tooth. Notice how that tooth is just about as high as the ra is. So now I have an option. If I want, I can keep it up there and just connect to the ra like that. And that's what you saw in the Mus'haf. Or if I want, I can bring it back down and I can go back down to the line here and then connect to the ra like that. I think this one looks nicer though, the first one. Same thing with these seen. خسر إن الإنسان لفي خسر. So khusr ends with a ra. Ra goes over the line a little bit. Here's the kha. Here's the scene. Now, the third tooth of the scene is just about as high as the ra is over the line. So what I can do is I can just bring the line from there. Or if I want, I can take it back down to the line and go down and then to the line and then go down and then bring my raw again if I want to. Both of those are fine. I think the first one looks nicer though. And from here, and I showed you this last week, that third tooth, this third tooth of the scene, and even the tooth of the sod and bod, depending on the letter that comes after them, you can do like this. Let's say, for example, the word Shams, Sheen, Meme. See what happened there? Took that third tooth and just used that third tooth to connect to the letter after. Like you can do it with sod too. So for example, you can say you can write Somed like this. Sod. Here's the tooth for a sod, but then I brought it around on top of the meme. Somed. Okay. That's just gonna take some practice. And as you improve your handwriting, you'll get a feel for those types of things. But how someone's going to write this improperly is by writing a sod without a tooth. So you might write like this and then write a summit, for example. This is wrong. And with its being incorrect, still looks nice. As if someone writes it like this without the tooth for the sod, probably is not going to be a good handwriting in the first place. The tooth should be there. Okay. So, steen, sheen, sod, bod. Let me make some more lines. Subhanallah. Walhamdulillah. Wa la ilaha illallah. Wallahu akbar. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Okay. After Sod and Bod come Ta and Tha. Uh, okay, so we saw how they looked in their neutral forms. Here's Pa and Tha. Let's look in the Mus'haf, see Ta and Tha. So we find a nice one. There should be, let's see, around. I want to see what they look like in their neutral forms. Where's Suratul Buruj? or Suratul Al-Tariq. Let's see. Here's a dha connected here, connecting from the letter before it. Then here's the dha itself. And here's its scorpion tail. We notice its scorpion tail connected all the way. There's no space. Okay. And let's see another one. Here's a paw. It's connected though in the beginning. Paw. And look how it's connecting to the hat from the top. That's what I was telling you about last time. You can connect letters to the top of the hat from the back of its crest. And here, the scorpion tail is connecting completely. There's no space. And notice that the scorpion tail doesn't come right here, right in the corner there. It's above that. It's like in between. Look at this blood here. Connected to this hat. Here's a blood. Here's its tooth. And then came down and connected to the hat. Here's sheen connecting to the letter before it. And look, the third tooth is being used to connect to the meme. Then we have a scene connected to the meme at the end of the word and taking its own form. Notice, first two are closer together. The second and the third are further apart. And notice also that the second tooth goes off in this direction and the third tooth goes off in this direction. That's when it's not connected to something after it. I'm still looking for ta and dha though, but pointing out some of the ones we've just encountered now. Here's thought. This time, thought is just connected regular. It's not connecting from the top up here. So if I want to write this word, how I'm going to write it, I'm going to write my thought. And notice here, this piece of the sod that starts underneath. That's where your pen starts. I'm going to write my sod until here. Now I pick my pen up. And then I come from here. Now I pick my pen up. And then I come down like this. Okay. Here's another sod. Same thing. No different. Still looking for ta and dha though. Here's a ta. So here. Starts here. Curve. Curve. My pen is up. Now I want to come back and draw the scorpion tail. That scorpion tail is touching. There's no space in between. And you notice that the scorpion tail is not right here inside of this corner, nor is it all the way up here. So it's in between there. Here's another one, connected. Scorpion tail in the middle there. I'm reviewing with you, brothers and sisters. I'm using this to help myself improve. So then, let's get back to the board. What do I have here and what I have written that I'm not going to do anymore now that I've reviewed with you. I have a little hoop right here at the bottom here, this little piece here that shows you where my pen started. We didn't see that in the Mus'haf. So then I'm going to write thought without that, inshallah, like that. And the scorpion tail does not go inside of this corner here, and it's not going to go all the way right here. So it's going to be in the middle. So like that, approximately. That's thought, and thought has a dot. So you saw what it looks like in the beginning. For example, here's the word tawil, tall. Tawil. So you see it here connecting to the letter after it. Uh, Allati, here's the word from the Quran in Surah Al-Humazah. Allati tattali'u. Allati tattali'u. So you see the ta here connecting from the letter before it. I picked my pen up. I did that thing again. See that little piece right there? That's not in the Mus'haf. So that's my habit I'm going to try to break, inshallah. So you see it connecting from the letter before it. Then here's the ta itself connecting to the letter after it. And we bring the scorpion tail down, connecting. Here's the word yadlim. Zalama yadlimu. Whoa, almost did it. Yadlim means to be unjust. Here's the va connecting from the letter before it. Here's the va itself connecting to the letter after it. And then scorpion tail connecting and it has a dot. I was looking for Suratul Buruj. Here. One moment here. Okay. This is a big file, so every time I go out of it and come back into it, the device needs to re-download it again. It takes a few moments. Look here. Wallahu min waraihim muhit. Here's our thought. It's already colored for us. You can see it connecting from the letter before it. You can see it has its scorpion tail in the middle of that ramp there, not in the corner or not at the top, not at the peak. And what does it have? It has like what in my imagination looks like what do they call that on the car? Spoiler? Isn't that the isn't that a spoiler on the back of a car? I think so. It's called spoiler. It's like it has a spoiler in that neutral form there. Try not to make it too long though. And here's letter the all by itself. Has spoiler there. Scorpion tail comes all the way down. And then there's the dot. Here's the taut in the middle. Inna batul rabbik, connecting from the letter before it. Then here's the taut itself and connecting to the letter after it. And then we bring the scorpion tail down. Okay. Khalas, I don't think I have more to show you here about that. Right? You're recognizing everything. Sawed with its tooth connecting from the previous letter. Okay. So we just did sawed, bod, ba, and va. Now the next one of my favorites. I think it's a favorite of most of the people. Letter Ain. Here it is in its neutral form. I picked my pen up, put my pen back down. A little sloppy. Not bad. So it's about something like that. That's not bad. Okay, that's how it looks in its neutral form. Notice, Yani, we're going to look for some in the Mus'haf. See, Mata. Okay, how does it look in the beginning? So we're going to take the head of the Ain, but notice here how this one is in this direction, this bottom tooth here. Notice its direction. When I write this in its neutral, in its connected form from the beginning, switching that. So now you can see the direction it's going. Instead of going like that, it's going like that. So that's how it looks in the beginning of a word. If it's a line, it's going to have a dot. In the middle of a word, though, it changes shape drastically. In the middle of the word, it's going to look like this. Here it is connecting from the letter before. Now, look at this shape here. Now, if you don't know what you're looking at, you would think what I just wrote was this. And that's how many people write ayin like that. And it's legible, but that's not what I did. Rather, look at that shape there. And also, Sheikh Samir taught us fill it in. It gets filled in. But a lot of people, when they write Ayn in the middle or ghain, they don't fill it in. I don't know anyone who does, except people who learn from me. MashaAllah. But maybe I haven't noticed because I have seen people with very, very excellent handwriting. I can't remember noticing if they fill the ayn in or not. Let's take a look at Mus'haf though and see. Yeah. So just let it finish uploading so I can write on it. One moment, please. Okay. It has to upload and download. Subhanallah. Okay. Look here. وَالْيَوْمِ الْمَوْعُودِ. Notice the ayn. Here's the top of it, and here's the bottom, and it's connecting to the letter after it. So you notice the trajectory of that bottom line there. Well, let's find an ayn in a neutral position though. But let's find one in the middle first too. Here, look at this one. You notice it's filled in. So here's the ayn connecting from the previous letter. There's the shape I told you. Connects to the letter after, and you notice it's filled in. And here, filled in. And everywhere. When it's in the middle, whether it's an ayn or a ghain, here's a ghain. Notice that shape there. That's the shape you want. It's lopsided, means not even. Fill it in. Etc. Yani, you should be convinced by now. Here's another one. Okay. But what about an ayn in a neutral form? Yes, Surat Quraysh. Min ju'. Let's see. Here. Here it is. Min ju'. Look here. Notice the angle there of this line. So it's not going up. Here's ayn filled in there. Another one. At'amahum. Here's another ayn. Yadu'u. Okay. So we got up to ghain today then. So what have we covered here? Dal ra zay we did today. Seen and sheen. Gotta make it better. Bod. I'm trying to improve my own handwriting. Bod. And we did ba and law. Those aren't so nice. And ayn and ghain. Do you have any questions?